What do you see in general the key characteristics are of people who are good at building and maintaining a network?
Yeah, so I mean, Tony O'Reilly was an exceptional individual. He was a phenomenally successful rugby player. He played in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. He played for the Lions. He scored 33 tries for the Lions. Nobody's ever come close to this sort of stuff. And you know, books have been written about the guy and everything, but nobody's actually said something I noticed very early on. He never invested in any country in the world where he hadn't played international rugby. So he invested in New Zealand, and the head of his company there was Wilson Winnery, captain of the All Blacks. He invested in South Africa, he invested in Australia, he invested in England, and he used that network to help him leverage into positions. Now he ran the Heinz Food Company, he owned Waterford Crystal, he had newspapers. He was very successful. He ended his career unsuccessfully financially, as you know. But at 88, you know, he had a fantastic innings. And I'm a big fan of the notion of, you know, hang around people who are good at networking, and some of this stuff rubs off. I'm a founder member of an organization called CASE, which stands for Copy and Steal Everything. Go figure. Just go figure who does it well and spend time with them. So there are certain characteristics of a great network, is your question. I think they tend to be humble people. They don't brag. They don't say, hey Lawrence, I did you a favor 6 weeks ago, you owe me £1. I think they're good and understand how important technology is, so they're high tech, but they're also high touch. We're living in a world now where we're all careering down this tech route and everything is about tech and AI, and I'm a big fan of all that stuff. But at the same time, you know, you mentioned Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie's, you know, he said people do business with people they know, like, and trust. I'm not sure that that's changed all that much. It's still critically important. So Tony and people like that really perfected that the ability to be good communicators. The number one skill, I think, in being a great networker is to be a good listener. And we live in a world where most people don't listen. Most people think that listening is a sign of weakness, a sign of not being an expert, a sign of not knowing what's going on. And that the most powerful thing to be as a communicator is to be a talker. And you know, it's not just not true. You know, many people tend to be narcissistic listeners. So if I say to Lawrence, you know, I'm thinking about a car, and he says, I got one last week, the guy wanted 20,000, I gave him 10,000, it's got a red wheels, it's fantastic. He's taking my topic, he's hijacked it, he's turned it into his topic, and people do that all the time. So seeing listening as a form of activity, listening not just to what somebody says, but what they're going to say next, is actually a really fabulous and powerful kind of skill in networking. So that would be my number one tip.
Okay.